Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
It has been a good one over the years, this rivalry between these two organizations. The Philadelphia Eagles, the number 6 seed, taking on the New York Giants, the NFC's number 1 seed. We go down to the field for last-second updates and check in with our Fox Field reporters. Pam Oliver's first up. Pam.
Well, Joe, Justin Tuck made a pretty frank admission to me. He said he had some worries going into this game. He wasn't wild about the idle time. He wondered how it's going to affect the Giants' overall rhythm. He also says we got to respect the fact that Philly's coming into this game hot, so we had better start fast. Brandon Jacobs on the other hand, he had a whole different perspective. He says we ain't worried about them. They had better be worried about us. Now let's go over to Chris Myers.
Well, Pam, Donovan McNabb doing all he can to keep his hands warm. He said for a road game he feels comfortable, and to handle the unpredictable winds, he has experience here throwing the ball low with extra velocity. He didn't talk about how the Giants didn't sack him in 2 games this year, but he did say, if I have to use my legs and run more in this game, I will. You have to pull out all the tricks. And because of the exposure to the sun on the Giants sideline, which is by design, some of the snow on the ice has not melted near the Eagle bench. It's a little slippery over here. I guess, Joe, what I'm saying is despite the temperature reading, it's colder on the Eagles sideline.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Pam. Hence the hat for Chris. He looks like he's in prison break. So it'll be chilly down there on the sidelines. 30 degrees with the wind whipping around. It is cold down on that field, and because of the conditions, the Giants and their head coach Tom Coughlin have decided to have both of their place kickers activated. They're going to have Lawrence Tynes for kickoffs and long field goals. There is Tynes. The Giants won the toss. They receive, and so David Akers will kick it away for Philadelphia. Bradshaw, the deep man for the Giants. And the wind knocks the football off the tee. Career high 17 touchbacks this season for David Akers, kicking with the wind. From about a yard deep in the end zone, it's Bradshaw. Room to run. What a start. Akers forces him out. No flags.
And what did Tom Coughlin tell us just the other day? Field position was going to be real key in this game. You take the opening kickoff, Ahmad Bradshaw starts up the middle, and a great job by the wedge of giving him some clean lanes to run in. David Akers is able to get over there and make the tackle, saving a touchdown.
Season-long 65-yard kick return for Ahmad Bradshaw, and the Giants start at the Philadelphia 35. Start with a throw to Smith, left alone, and the pass just floated. Turned Steve Smith around, and even though he was wide open, he and Eli couldn't connect.
Well, look at how open Steve Smith is. Asante Samuel guesses and guesses wrong. Doesn't get any kind of jam on him whatsoever, and you can see right there, going into the wind, the Giants are right now, you've got to really be able to drive it as the quarterback. If that thing starts wobbling on you, coming off your hand, you've got no chance.
Working right into the wind down in this end of the field at 2nd and 10. Jacobs picks up 7. Quentin Michael on the tackle, and we look at this Giants offense before a 3rd and 3. And as you look at the backs and receivers, big year for Jacobs, his counterpart Derek Ward, because of the outstanding work by this offensive line. And Chris Snee just found out he was named as an All-Pro.
And rightfully so. And you know, we talk about their running game and these backs and the year that Brandon Jacobs has had. A big part of it, yes, the offensive line, but they've stayed healthy. None of the offensive linemen miss any start this year.
Out of the shotgun, the pass is underneath the Ward, and he tries to lunge for a first down, and he is way short of it. Crowd doesn't like the spot. Asante Samuel made the play, a gain of only 1, and it's 4th down.
A pretty good job there by Asante Samuel coming up and trying to make a play on him. Hard to get a look right there as to where he is out of bounds. You see him trying to stretch. A good effort there by Derek Ward. And based on where they're at right here, you'd say, well, why not go for the field goal? As we discussed, they are right into the teeth of this win.
It's 4th down and 2. They run it with Jacobs, and the big back has a first down. A career high 1,089 yards rushing for Brandon Jacobs. Derek Ward with 1,025, and that combo, the 4th running back tandem to each top over 1,000 yards in a single season.
Yeah, that's quite a tandem. And normally when you've got 2 backs like that, you've got one guy who's the power runner, you've got another guy who's the real speed guy and home run threat. Each one of these guys, and then also Ahmad Bradshaw, can go the distance from anywhere on the field.
A blitz from the Eagles. Giants pick it up. Manning throws and hits the tight end, Darcy Johnson. He has another New York first down. And they've worked Darcy Johnson more and more into the offense here with the Giants.
Darcy Johnson, an athletic guy, but the offensive line, you're going to see the protection that they're able to give. They bring a linebacker blitz last week. The Eagles ran a lot of that as well, but you've got Darcy Johnson there on an out route. A ball again from Eli Manning, not real tight, but he's able to get it there before it got defensed.
Inside the red zone. First down at the 11. Jacobs, right side. And a good play is made by Brian Dawkins. Just a 2-yard gain. Dawkins is the emotional leader of this defense for Philadelphia. As we say every week, they have a lot of rotation up front with this group. They get Victor Abiamiri back and healthy for their nickel defense up front, and they have a young group of linebackers, not very long on experience, but they are, for the most part, still energetic and moving around the football field awfully well.
Yeah, they've played well. Their play has gotten better as the season has gone along, and I think that's why the defense also has gotten better.
2nd and 8, it's Jacobs. And there was nowhere to go. Abiamiri was in on the tackle, and Patterson was there to anchor it up front for Philadelphia. It's 3rd and 8.
And Mike Patterson's going to be a real key all day long in terms of trying to slow down this rushing attack of the New York Giants. Patterson has played well all season long, as has Broderick Bunkley. And I know that the Giants have great respect for both of those guys and know that they're going to have to get them moved out if they're going to have any chance.
It's 3rd and 8. Looking left all the way. That's Ward out of the backfield, and that's Bradley, the middle linebacker, making a solid tackle, a gain of 5. It is 4th down, and it's the field goal unit sent on by Tom Coughlin.
And there's a great example of some good play there at linebacker by Stuart Bradley. You know, he's in the middle. and then he's got to run out. They're trying to run a little bit of a natural pick, but he's got to use his speed in order to get out there on Ward so that Ward cannot outflank him, with the ball. And he's able to do that and keep them from picking up the first down. Overall, considering where the Giants got the ball there, a nice job of holding them to a field goal attempt.
Giants started the drive at the Philadelphia 35, and it ends on a John Carney 22-yard field goal. What set it up? The 65-yard kickoff return by Ahmad Bradshaw translates to 3-zip Giants.
Lines, low fares, no hidden fees.
True to form for the Giants, Lawrence Tynes will kick it into the wind. Quentin Demps, the rookie, is waiting deep. From the 15. Demps hung on to the football, got away from Chase Blackburn, and turns in a 19-yard return. David Akers, boom. Made that tackle on the kick return by Bradshaw. Might have been a little shaken up. Phillies ball down 3. First possession for the Eagles, down by 3. McNabb rolls to his right and fires a laser out to the rookie Deshaun Jackson, who's had a great year, good for 9 yards. He will be featured in the backs and receivers section as we show you the lineups. The offensive group for Philadelphia, Jackson with an Eagles rookie record of 912 receiving yards on the year. And this offensive line, they are, let's say, experienced out at offensive tackle, and John Runyon's playing with a bad knee.
Yes, he is, and it's amazing that he's been able to play through it. He's pretty banged up, as a lot of these players are at this time of the year.
They gave Deshaun Jackson 10 instead of 9, and now Westbrook is bottled up back at the 40, a loss of 3. Terrell Thomas, a rookie, made the play. And we look at the defense, the 5th-ranked defense across the NFL during the regular season. They are banged up front, Troy, with Justin Tuck playing with a bad right knee, and Fred Robbins a shoulder, and he's had hand issues most of the season.
Yeah, it surprised me to hear Pam Oliver report that Justin Tuck would have preferred not to have the bye week. You'd think the one player who benefited from that the most would have been Justin Tuck.
2nd down and 13. McNabb dumps it off. Buchalter, nothing. Brought down by Johnson, a loss of 3. Osi Umenyiora is back on the sideline with his teammates. Went on IR at the end of August. 13 sacks last year, including 6 in one game here against the Eagles. Third down and 16. McNabb with time down the middle, fires behind Kevin Curtis. And it's 4th down.
So the Eagles offensively do a good job of giving Donovan McNabb some time, but the secondary throughout that series played 6 defensive backs. You've got Corey Webster there on Kevin Curtis. Great coverage. Man-to-man coverage across the board. Nowhere really for Donovan to get that ball.
Sav Rocca will punt it with Dominic Hickson waiting deep. And it's a false start against the Eagles.
False start. Offense number 38. 5-yard penalty, still 4th.
You can hear the effect of the wind on the microphone down there. The umpires having to pretty much stand over the football prior to the center getting to it, just to make sure it doesn't roll. 4th down and 21. Rocca just got it away. Hickson, penalty flag is down. Now another comes in, and Hickson won't go down. He crosses the 40 But there are 2 flags on the play. An 18-yard punt return, but it doesn't look like it'll stand. That was the first one thrown near the sideline, and the other one in the middle of the field as this officiating crew gets together and talks about it. Mike Carey, who was the referee for Super Bowl 42. The Giants beat the Patriots as the referee here today. So both fouls are against New York.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty upsetting to Tom Coughlin because they were going to have pretty good field position had they not have had the penalties. And also knowing that they failed to capitalize on their first possession and had to settle for the 3 points.
2 fouls during the kick, both by the receiving team. Illegal block on the back. Number 57 is declined. And unnecessary roughness. Number 21 hitting a receiver out of bounds. Half distance to the goal. First down.
So they get the one on Kenny Phillips. They decline the one on Chase Blackburn. And here's the one on Phillips. That shove drew a flag.
Fox is sponsored by State Farm, proud sponsor of the NFL and the best day of the week. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Toyota, moving forward.
I'm gonna give you every inch of me on this field. Give me the same in return. All that. Stop bubbles, baby. 1, 2, 3. All that. We out in there, baby.
It is just that, a grudge match. And those were the words of Brian Dawkins, who fires up this defense weekend after weekend. Basically a 29-yard penalty as the Giants start at their own 13, and this one's picked off by who else? Asante Samuel. Samuel is down inside the 5, very near the 1. He had one return for a touchdown last week. That is his 7th career postseason interception, and he sets up 1st and goal at the 2.
You know, good idea by New York. They're going to come out on the bootleg, but they don't fool the Philadelphia Eagles. They hold containment. They don't let Eli out on the edge, and that's just a throw that got away from Eli. You know, he had a chance. He had a chance, but because of pressure, he released it, and it was a high throw.
Eli Manning had to make the tackle. Asante Samuel now has 1 interception, at least 1, 7 of the last 10 postseason games he's participated in. Sets up 1st and goal from the 2. Handoff is to Westbrook, gets nothing. You and I, Troy, were talking during the commercial break. We found it both of us did, found it surprising that even though the Giants won the coin toss, they didn't defer. They took the football. They didn't want to play the wind game. We talked to Tom Coughlin about that on Friday, and he said it's always something I toy with, I don't do. They're playing this first quarter into the wind, and it's bitten him a little bit here so far.
Yeah, it's something he said he would consider, but yet he had never deferred. He had always taken the ball when the Giants had won the coin toss. I think you just go back to what you're comfortable with, and he's comfortable taking the ball.
Penalty flag on the play as McNabb, with the pressure starting to get to him, throws it out of the back of the end zone in the direction of Kevin Curtis. And we'll get the call from Mike Carey.
Holding defense number 22. Pass the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
Well, it's not 22. I can say with certainty, and Tom Coughlin knows that there's nobody that wears number 22 on his defense. This could be it, right in the slot with Michael Johnson. Yep, might be.
Yeah, well, that would draw a flag because you cannot go to the headgear as a defensive back on a receiver.
So back to 1st and goal, back to Westbrook trying to leap in, and he did not get to the goal line. Danny Clark was the first one to meet him in the air. A gain of 1 at 2nd and goal.
tell you, this is an area of the field for Philadelphia where they have struggled, throughout this season, trying to run the football in from down around this area, from the 1-yard line, 2-yard line, 3-yard line. And I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I would expect to see some play action here.
It cost them the game at Chicago. They didn't have Westbrook active in that game. They were 0 for 1 in the red zone last week at Minnesota. McNabb keeps it, tries to break the plane. Touchdown, Philadelphia. The dangerous move of exposing the football as he lunged toward the goal line, and according to this officiating crew, he broke the plane and the Eagles take the lead.
Yeah, you always worry about that. You see clearly the ball got across the goal line and it was a touchdown, but you always worry when you stick the ball out like that someone will knock it out prior to the ball crossing the goal line. But a good job by Donovan McNabb of getting that one in.
So Eli Manning throws the interception, and the Eagles turn it into 7 quick points. Manning, who threw only 10 picks and turned it over just 12 times all season, threw the interception to Asante Samuel. Dawkins is pumped. Eagles lead by 4. Asante Samuel with his 7th career postseason interception. Rodney Harrison is now tied with his 7 for the most among active players. And Asante, and the money that they gave him, a 6-year deal with $20 million guaranteed to come to the NFC, come to the Eagles from the New England Patriots, which played in 3 Super Bowls, won 2 rings. That has paid off this postseason. And his interception turns into 7 points and a lead for the Eagles as Akers kicks it away. And Ahmad Bradshaw from deep within his own end zone takes it out. Gets to the 20, and that's about it. So if we came on the air talking about this Philadelphia defense and for Philadelphia wanting to do more of what they've done the last 2 weeks, that's exactly what happened as they get the turnover and turn it into 7 quick points.
Yeah, I mean, that up to this point, clearly the difference. And, all you got to think back to is yesterday's ball games and how significant turnovers are. And so, when you look at playoff type games, who makes the fewest mistakes, and at the end, yeah, the turnovers, who wins those battles. But as I often say, turnovers occur in the context of trying to win a football game, and that's what Eli and the rest of these guys are trying to do.
So starting at their own 20 now, 3rd possession for the Giants, and met in the backfield is Derek Ward. Quentin Michael, first one there, no gain.
Well, there's no doubt in talking with Jim Johnson, who is actually upstairs today because of a back that has given him some problems. This is the first time that he's been in the coach's booth, at least while he's been the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he might like that vantage point. You're able to get up there and see things much clearer than what you're able to when you're on the sidelines. The drawback is then you don't have the interaction with your players.
67-year-old defensive coordinator, very unassuming, a big force in this league, former quarterback collegiately at the University of Missouri, as Ward carries it for 2. And it'll be 3rd down and long coming up for the Giants, and now Samuel and Ward get up yelling at each other, and Stuart Bradley sticks his nose in there.
Well, I don't know what happened at the bottom of that pile, but Derek Ward, he came up and he was shoving before he even got up to his feet at the end of this play. So you can see Brian Dawkins come in with his headgear, and he's known for doing that. I would take exception to that as well. I'm actually surprised it maybe didn't draw a penalty. Derek Ward clearly on the ground before Brian Dawkins came in.
All-time leading 200th career game for Brian Dawkins in an Eagles uniform. 3rd down. Manning throws, beautiful throw, and coming out of his break is Smith. Good for a Giants 1st down and 12 yards for Steve Smith.
Trent Cole, the last time these two teams played, had a monster game. He was very disruptive in both the running game as well as putting pressure on Eli Manning. You see what they're doing there. They're giving extra work to his side in order to keep him off of Eli and give him a chance to throw the ball within a clean pocket. And Steve Smith, this is where he's good. 3rd downs, working the inside stuff. Runs a good route, gets some separation. Easy 3rd down completion.
Handoff is to Ward, And Ward got to the line of scrimmage and bounced backward. Gokong was in there. Michael was the first one there for the Eagles, and it's getting awfully chippy here early in this game with 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Well, we saw Quentin Michael come up and take out Madison Hedgecock there, which is what disrupted the play for Derek Ward. And there's a lot of bodies there flying around, and you got Deal. Keem Jordan knocking him over the pile. I'll tell you what, you better keep your head on a swivel at the end of these plays.
2nd and 10 for the Giants. Blitz from the Eagles. Ward over the left side. Not much. Picks up a yard. It's 3rd and long again with Bunkley making the play.
Well, and this is what Jim Johnson talked about the other day, is we are going to put an extra guy in the box, and we're going to do everything we can to shut down their running game, whether that's Derek Ward in the lineup, as he has been on this possession, or Brandon Jacobs. But they wanted to get them to 3rd and long. That has been the key to the Eagles' success, and certainly the key the last time these two teams played. Get them to 3rd and long, and then they can start bringing the pressure on Eli Manning.
Since the interception, the Giants have run 5 plays, 4 on the ground. It's 3rd and 9. A pocket for Manning, who throws a floater to Toomer, incomplete, out of bounds. And so 4th down now for New York, as the Eagles defense forces another punt.
I tell you, Asante Samuel is able to get a jam on Amani Toomer, but then Samuel goes inside and leaves Toomer wide open on the sideline. Eli's able to find him, but he's having a hard time throwing the tight spiral to drive it through the wind. Every time he's tried to get one down the field, the wind has gotten a hold of it and really has made it balloon like a kite.
Fiegels is having maybe his best year. Deshaun Jackson with nothing on the return, and Jeff Fiegels, a penalty flag comes in at the end. Jeff Fiegels, who is headed to his 2nd Pro Bowl and who has his highest gross punting average of his career, just hit a 45-yarder with nothing on the return.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 37. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
And that's Considine. Not much, but a penalty, and that will move the Eagles closer to their own end zone. The last Eagles drive started 88 yards closer to the Giants' end zone. This one starts at their own 10. Good play by Michael Johnson off the edge, brings down Westbrook, a loss of 1. Westbrook here on the 7th of December, a career high 33 carries, 133 yards. Total yardage was over 200 for the game, a game that the Eagles in the end really needed to win. They got the victory 20-14 here in that first weekend of December. 2nd and 11. And movement. L.J. Smith.
False start. Offense number 82. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And a flinch. Moves it back inside the 5.
What we're seeing right now, New York mix up their defensive personnel packages quite a bit. 1st down, they were in their base package, 4 defensive backs. Even against standard personnel on 2nd down, they went with 5 defensive backs. So they're giving some different looks to this Eagles offense.
Westbrook at the top of your screen. Instead, they hand it off to Buckhalter, Troy, something we saw a couple of times last week at the Vikings. They spread Westbrook out. All eyes go to Westbrook. And then they hand to Buckhalter. This time they do. Tuck on the tackle, a gain of 5.
Yeah, and I think Buckhalter needs to be more involved. I mean, you're always wanting to get the ball to Brian Westbrook. There's no doubt about that. But Correll Buckhalter, when he has been given his opportunities, he has played exceptionally well. Think back to last week, 2 carries, but one of those 27-yard run.
3rd down and 10. McNabb gets rid of it. The pass through the hands of Avant. And with 12 seconds left in the first quarter, Philadelphia about to punt it back to the Giants.
Well, as we know, Steve Spagnuolo worked under Jim Johnson for a few years there with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he likes getting an offense into 3rd and long as well. You've got Terrell Thomas coming around on the blitz, and he just misses knocking that ball out of McNabb's hand before the throw.
Rocca hits a line drive. Hickson on the return. Wow, what a hit by Considine. And a penalty flag, actually 2, fly in at the end of that play. Sean Considine is on the top of the special teams chart that the Eagles have in their locker room for the work he does on special teams, the dethroned starter at strong safety. And he has had an impact on special teams.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 25, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
So with 3 seconds left, the penalty on R.W. McQuarters. And number 25 is guilty of the block in the back on the former Giant, Tank Daniels.
Well, you can see the frustration on Tom Coughlin's face. That's twice now that they've had an opportunity. Now the field position here is still pretty good, but not nearly as good as what it was going to be. And you know, field position is so vital to being able to move the football and come away with any kind of points when you're going up against a defense that has been as red hot as what the Eagles has been.
Eli Manning cannot wait to snap this ball, have 3 seconds elapsed from the clock, and switch sides of the field. Working into the wind, it's Jacobs. Good run on 1st down. Picks up 11. And for the Giants, a solid end to the first quarter. We are done with 1. The road team, Philly, up by 4.
We had 2 very bad colds.
I fought off the bed.
I typed in pregnancy.
Cholesterol.
Food allergies.
With WebMD, everything is in one place, from parenting to nutrition,
meditation, yoga, diet,
vaccines.
You click here, and you're like, oh dang, there's something else.
I found tips for reducing stress.
You just keep clicking, and it's just for some reason you just start get the itch.
the sources are so clear.
They're MDs, they're PhDs.
I don't need millions of answers.
Just one good one.
WebMD. Better information, better health.
1 latte. Keep the change.
Whoa. You can use that change to get double the beef for only 89 cents.
Double the beef.
Change the way you see change. The cheesy double beef burrito. Double the beef for only 89 cents. Why pay more?
All right, sports fans, it's time to find Geico's.
I can't do this myself.
The Eagles have just 10 yards of offense, but they have the lead as we start the second quarter. 1st down, Giants at their own 47. Jacobs tries the right side, a little cutback, picks up 2. That's a penalty flag. And that's Tom Coughlin, head coach's reaction to the penalty flag. One's yellow and one is facially red.
Yeah, there's never any confusion as to how Tom feels about anything. And just knowing, one, he just doesn't like penalties, but knowing how important, you know, I've talked a little bit about it already here in this first quarter, how important field position is, and when you shoot yourselves in the foot and you give that up, that's frustrating.
Toss to Jacobs, running left. Gokong made the play, and Jacobs picks up 1. So a 3rd and long coming up. And for Philadelphia's defense, I know that was a 2nd down play, but what they were good at this year They were number 1 in the NFC in what they allowed the opposing offense to do on first down. Only 4.1 yards on first down on average. And so eventually that translates into 3rd and longs. And that's when this Philadelphia defense comes at you.
Yeah, and then that translates into being second best in the National Football League, stopping teams on 3rd down. And then that means that your offense gets the ball back.
A blitz. Manning slides, throws, Smith out of his reach. It was there. Manning missed him a little too deep, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, Steve Smith, he's able to get by him. You're going to see Sheldon Brown, who's in coverage, and he's got safety help over the top, but Dawkins was a little late getting there, so a better thrown ball, and Steve Smith is able to make a play in behind the safety coverage. But now New York is throwing with the wind, so that presents another set of challenges for a quarterback throwing with the wind.
Fiegels hits it. Kind of a knuckleball that takes a bounce, and it's still alive. Down by Zach Diassi. Terrell Thomas knocked it back into play, and Diassi got on top of it at the 5. What a good play by the rookie Terrell Thomas. And now Philadelphia will take over at their own 5, up 7-3.
Sponsored by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Autotrader.com. You'll find the car you want at the price you want at Autotrader.com.
The Eagles' first play today was a 10-yard completion to Deshaun Jackson. Since then, they've run 9 plays for no yards, but they have a touchdown. 10 total yards for the Eagles' offense. Starting at their own 5. And a blitz from the Giants. Handoff is to Westbrook. Picks up a yard and a half. The ball comes out, but they've blown it dead. The play is dead at the 6, and the ball belongs to Philadelphia.
Yeah, it looked from here that he was down, and a good call there by the official. Take a better look at it here and see if his knee's on the ground before the ball comes out.
Yeah.
His arm was.
The ground caused it. It's 2nd and 9 from the 6.
I'll tell you, this Giants defense up to this point has done a good job on Brian Westbrook. That was a #1 priority coming into the game, and they've accomplished that so far.
Another blitz. McNabb is in trouble. Just flips it out of there. And they throw the flag. If it happened in the end zone, that's a safety.
Yeah, and it did, and that's a good call. Donovan McNabb clearly within the pocket.
Grounding. Offense number 5. No receiver in the area. Safety.
That's a good call. Donovan McNabb was clearly in the pocket and trying to avoid the sack. Throwing it out. No receiver in the area. You're going to see as he drops back. Good pressure there. Justin Tuck coming off the edge. He's the first one there, and just an attempt to get it out. He had nowhere to go, nowhere to escape. The guys filled their lanes inside. Good defensive stand.
And so how about that? The New York Giants in 2 games, even though they had 42 sacks on the year, 6th best total in the NFL, did not have 1 against Philadelphia. Had 15 against the Eagles last year. And here in the divisional playoff game, it's Justin Tuck getting McNabb and forcing the 2-point safety.
Yeah, and Justin Tuck, as we talked about, he has been banged up. He's only had a half a sack over the last 4 games. In fact, this entire defensive unit has not been nearly as productive getting after the quarterback as we had seen earlier in the year. I think it's a group that had just gotten worn down. So although Justin Tuck wishes maybe they had played last week and just kept on going, I think the bye week really served them well and has gotten them healthy. And we witnessed that on that last play.
So 12 and a half left in the first half. The Eagles lead is 2. Now Rocca with a free kick and waiting deep. Bradshaw and Hickson. He's going to punt this into the wind. So the Giants, at the very least, should end up with good field position. Good punt. From about at the 20. Bradshaw. Dragged down from behind by Tracy White. A 12-yard return. Justin Tuck, big number 91, adds 2 to the scoreboard for the Giants. 7-5 Philadelphia. Watch Antonio Pierce on the sideline talking to the line judge about the center. Jamal Jackson of the Eagles jerking his head prior to the snap. Derek Ward picks up 4. Going back over the tape, watch number 67, Jamal Jackson.
Yeah, I didn't see much there, but it never hurts. I don't blame Antonio Pierce for going over to the line judge and saying, hey, I want you to take a look at this. As a center, you can't jerk your head up. They would throw a flag on that. I don't think Jamal Jackson did anything wrong from what we just saw, but why not at least plant the seed if you're Antonio Pierce?
2nd and 6. Throws and hits his tight end Kevin Boss. And Boss, from where they're spotting it, looks like he's got enough for a first down. He does.
Well, and Kevin Boss has come along. Think back to last year and the job that he did in the playoffs last season, and didn't have a lot of catches, but boy, the ones he made were sure big catches. Thinking about the Dallas game before the half, certainly in the New England game in the Super Bowl, but he's had a nice sophomore year.
Last year took over for the injured Jeremy Shockey. Shockey did not have a touchdown this year for New Orleans. Boss had 6 for the Giants, a gain of 3 by Derek Ward. And we look ahead to next weekend. It will be the late afternoon window in the NFC Championship game. The Arizona Cardinals are in. If the Eagles win here today, the game will take place in the desert. If the Giants win, the Cardinals have to come east.
I tell you what, congratulations to Ken Wisenhunt and that entire team. Clancy Pendergast, the defensive coordinator, doing an outstanding job. That defense right now has surprised a lot of people in how well they were playing.
Forcing 6 turnovers last night. This one was almost won by Manning. A penalty flag is down as Quentin Michaels stepped in front of Kevin Boss. And a flag is down on the play.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 55. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So that's Stuart Bradley, and even had Michaels stepped in front, it would not have held up. And we take a look at the penalty by Bradley.
Yeah, he's right here in the middle. He's your middle linebacker, and see exactly what it is that what he does. He comes in on the blitz, and yeah, he's got a whole look like of Sean O'Hara there, right underneath the helmet. That's a big penalty. Right now what we've seen of Eli Manning in terms of throwing the football, he's just been a little bit off. I mean, there's been some opportunities for him to be able to make some throws and get some completions. It just has not happened. And even that last one got behind him, and yeah, there was the penalty, but that ball could have been intercepted.
Manning throws, looking for Boss. Forced out by Bradley, one of the better throws, and 21 yards to Kevin Boss.
Yeah, they come right back to the same route to Kevin Boss. This time, however, instead of having a safety on him, they've got Stuart Bradley in coverage. And once Stuart Bradley was inside and having to play inside out with an outside breaking route, as long as Eli got this ball to the outside, it was going to be an easy completion.
5th round pick last year from Western Oregon, Kevin Boss. 33 catches on the regular season. Here's Jacobs. Cannot get around Parker, and Michael is there to finish up. No gain. Under 10 to play in the first half. The Giants moving it now, down by 2.
Well, I'll tell you, the Eagles are really overselling in order to shut down the run. And as Jim Johnson told us coming into this game, the real key is stopping Brandon Jacobs and Derek Ward. And if we can do that, we want to put the game in the hands of Eli Manning. And for the most part, they have done a good job shutting down the run. And that's why I think that for the Giants, at least here early in this game, some of the bigger plays that they're going to get are going to have to come through the air.
And Manning has chance to take a timeout with a play clock about to expire. Second down for the Giants when we come back as they trail by 2.
On Fox is sponsored by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Giants had to use a timeout. Second down and 10 with 9:07 left. Inside field goal range as they trail by 2. Blitz, the pass for Hickson, cannot get to it. A lot of wobbly passes from Eli Manning so far in this first half. Seems to be working with the wind, and it's now 3rd and 10.
They're going to bring the blitz off the edge here with Brian Dawkins, and the Giants pick it up, and they're able to give Eli a pretty good pocket. You know, the Giants feel like they've got a good understanding of where those blitzes are coming from, and that's why they've been pretty successful in blocking it up. But that's another opportunity missed. Dominic Hickson was able to get in behind Sheldon Brown, but just not able to connect.
Pressure on Manning, who drops it off in the direction of Boss and just happy to get rid of it. It's now 4th down, the field goal unit, and John Carney will come on for the Giants, trying to regain the lead. Eli Manning last postseason had a quarterback rating of 123.2. Completed passes at a rate of 61%, 6 touchdown passes, only 1 interception, which happened in the Super Bowl. He's thrown a pick in this game, and so far has been a little erratic in the first half, trying to get the ball to his receivers. 46-yard try for the lead. Carney pushed it. He missed his last field goal try in the regular season at the Vikings, and he pushes this one wide to the right. And so the Eagles still lead by 2. 7-5 Philadelphia.
He's trying to say that he got hit as he was throwing, and that's why the ball came out and was in the area of no receiver and should not have been a safety. Nice try.
Taking over at their own 36, it's Westbrook. Westbrook gets nothing, rather Buckhalter. And Buckhalter stopped at the line of scrimmage. Let's go down to the field, and Chris Myers.
And on the Eagles sideline, McNabb through most of the first quarter talking about the wind and how when it was behind him, it would push the ball upward and in the air. Now he's looking into the wind, and Donovan sleeveless, gloveless, and said before the game, if it gets cold, he'll put a glove on his left hand. He'll go bare hand, but the wind is more the issue.
Yeah, that's what we've seen from Eli Manning, you know, throwing with the wind, then the ball tends to sail away from you.
On 2nd and 10, pass is complete. That's Brent Selleck. Selleck is out across the 40 to the 41, a gain of 5. So far, if the story was Westbrook coming in 5 weeks ago, he had 203 total yards here at Giant Stadium against the New York defense. So far, -3. -3 yards for Brian Westbrook, the biggest weapon for the Eagles.
Well, the Giants have got to feel good about that, but they know they've got to do it throughout the entire ball game. Think back to last week. The Vikings, that is, had him bottled up throughout the entire ball game, and then all of a sudden he catches a 70-yard screen pass for a touchdown, which ultimately was the difference in that game.
Play clock is down to 1. They throw the flag, but a timeout was taken.
Timeout, Philadelphia, their first 30-second timeout.
Take a look at the season review for the New York Giants. Michael Strahan retires. Osi Umenyiora lost during the preseason to the knee injury. They come off the Super Bowl and have an 11-1 start, best in Giants history. Plexico Burress self-destructs. They beat Carolina here a few weeks ago to clinch home field advantage. That was their only win, Troy, in their last 4 games. All of that coinciding with a loss on the field of Plexico Burress.
Yeah, and a lot of discussion coming into this game about the fact that they had lost 3 of their last 4, and you know, the players and coaches, as you would expect, pointed to the fact that when they had to win a game against Carolina and clinch home field advantage, they did that. I think more importantly, you think back to last year, they had lost 2 of their last 3 going into the playoffs last year, and it didn't seem to affect them.
16 total yards in this half for Philadelphia. 3rd and 5. Over the middle, pass is caught and hung on to by L.J. Smith. First down, Philadelphia.
Well, that's Philadelphia's first conversion now on 3rd down, and they're able to get to Donovan McNabb. It's just a little bit late. And 2 guys there on L.J. Smith. Donovan making a good throw and fitting that one in there. You see there Matthias Kiwanuka coming down low on Donovan McNabb.
Giants in this game offensively 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Philly now 1 for 3. Toss to Westbrook, running right. A 2-yard gain by Brian Westbrook. Justin Tuck out there defensively for New York. And Donovan is having trouble with his helmet. Had to change it during the timeout. Now he's back to a different one.
Yeah, a lot of times when you change helmets like that, it's primarily because you're not getting the call from the sidelines as clearly as what you'd like. Maybe the communication device is breaking up on him, and he's not hearing as well as what he'd like to, so he goes with the backup helmet.
2nd down and 8. Now his chin strap's unbuckled. Still unbuckled as he hands to Westbrook, his biggest run. And Westbrook picks up 7. Blackburn on the tackle. And Westbrook, it appears, is inches short of a first down.
McNabb kind of piecemealing this thing together. The chin strap comes loose, then he runs back over to the sidelines, gets the chin strap off the old helmet, trying to get him as comfortable as he can out here.
So now he's got a new chin strap, and he's got a 3rd and 1 facing him. That's Buckhalter. And that's a good run on 3rd and 1. Karel Buckhalter fought his way for a first down.
It is a good run, Joe, because the Giants did a pretty good job of clogging that thing up inside. Not a lot of places there for Buckhalter to take it, but knowing that he just needed a yard, was able to put his head down and pick it up. That's one that won't be talked about much at the end of this ball game, but certainly kept this drive alive.
So first down, Philadelphia. Up by 2. McNabb stumbling, somehow got it back into the arms of Westbrook, who picks up a 1.5 yards. And McNabb's having all kinds of trouble. Either equipment or that time with his footing coming out from under center.
Yeah, sometimes you get stepped on. It looked like that's what happened. You know, a lot of times these centers, when they hike the ball, they take a false step back. And as a quarterback, if you're not getting your feet out of there fast enough, then you get stepped on, and that's why you come out stumbling. And you're right, he was fortunate to be able to make the handoff. And you take a look at this right here, this play selection. It's been a long time since Eagle fans have seen that kind of ratio.
It had been 4 straight running plays, and now this one is through the hands of Deshaun Jackson with Antonio Pierce right there with him. So now 3rd down and 9. The Eagles have converted on their last 2 3rd down tries. A blitz. Thomas came unblocked. The pass picked off by Dockery. The rookie Terrell Thomas has had a very good first half, and he forced that pass as he came on the blitz.
He sure has, and he's been very disruptive in the backfield. They've used him a lot now off the edge, and he's the guy who gets in Donovan's face and forces the throw a little earlier than what Donovan would have liked. Deshaun Jackson, you know, they're on an opportunity to get by Dockery, but we talked about it, going in that direction that the Eagles are headed in right now, right into the teeth of the wind. And it's very difficult then, especially under duress, to try to get that ball as far as you needed to try to get the completion.
So now each side has turned it over. Each quarterback has thrown a pick. Each side has 2 timeouts left in this first half. Jacobs brought down by Sheldon Brown at the 44. A 24-yard gallop by Brandon Jacobs.
Well, they don't talk a lot about Madison Hedgecock, but watch the job that he does coming off the line of scrimmage and how he leads the way then for Brandon Jacobs. A nice block on Quentin Michael, the safety, gives him a lane. And out in the open field, we all know Brandon Jacobs, a big man and very difficult to bring to the ground.
Yeah, not going to go down on the arm tackle try. That was the longest play from scrimmage of this game for either team. 24 yards, and now Derek Ward over the right side picks up 5. Stuart Bradley on the tackle for the Eagles.
You know, Sheldon Brown, who's on the opposite side of where this ball was run, comes all the way across the field, and he's the guy who ultimately makes the play. Great hustle on his part.
It was a 24-yard run by Jacobs. He has 49 yards in the game. The Eagles have only 39 yards of offense. 2nd and 5. Time. Manning steps up and hits Boss down to the 26. Stuart Bradley fell down in coverage, and Kevin Boss is good for 25 yards.
Well, Eli Manning was looking elsewhere, but when he steps up into the pocket off the play action, it forces him then to get his eyes right to his tight end. And Kevin Boss runs a good route. Bradley goes down. Good execution.
Here's Jacobs left side, a cutback, and throws his helmet into the chest of Bradley. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. A 5-yard run by Jacobs after the 25-yard pass to Boss. Giants moving it down 2. During the break, the officials got together, met as they're doing right now, and they took that 5-yard carry by Brandon Jacobs off the clock because they said the clock hit 2 minutes prior to the snap. I would say it's almost simultaneous and maybe just a hair before 2 minutes were left. And instead of 2nd and 5, I mean, it happens almost bang bang. Tom Coughlin, you could see him say that you can't do that now. They're taking the yardage away. They're putting 2 minutes exactly on the clock. And instead of 2nd and 5 at the 21, it's 1st and 10 at the 26. Maybe not a big deal, but you know that Coughlin would love to have that 5-yard run and a nice manageable 2nd and 5 coming up.
Well, the problem as I see with that is that it was not stopped, you know, within regulation. It wasn't until Andy Reid went over and had the conversation with him. Either way would have been okay if they had ruled it had hit the 2-minute warning or not. I can't believe they went back and changed it, though.
Here's a quick throw to Dominic Hickson, and he is wrapped up by Sheldon Brown, but a penalty flag is down. And it's an offside against Philly, so in the end, they're going to end up with 1st and 5.
Offside, defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 1st and 5.
It's Jaquay Parker, and in the end, the Giants benefit from all that because they get an extra down. And instead of 2nd and 5 from the same spot, it's 1st and 5.
You know, Andy was pretty proud of what he was able to get pulled off, but you're right. Now the Giants are in better shape than what they had been if they had been allowed to run that play.
So 1st and 5 from the 21, down by 2. Kind of a short arm throw by Eli Manning in the direction of Amani Toomer. off his right hand, incomplete.
Well, we saw that Eli Manning's wearing a glove on his left hand. He has never worn a glove on his right hand. In fact, the last time he even wore a glove on his left hand was in the NFC Championship game. It's primarily, when it's cold that he does that. Now we got Kareem McKenzie, the right tackle, going off the field. And Kevin Booth should be then coming in his place.
Big number 77 is out at right tackle for Kareem McKenzie, who has been bothered by bad back, but he limped off. Looked like something with one of his legs. 2nd and 5 over the middle, up for grabs and incomplete. And Eli Manning now has completed passes at less than 50% here in this first half. That last one intended for Kevin Boss.
And really fortunate here. You get down here in this area, there's a lot of bodies in a small space, and a ball that gets tipped up like that, more times than not, is intercepted. You got Booth, who comes in right off the bench, and he's got a pass protect. Does a good job of mugging the guy. I think you say, well, he did a good job keeping him off the quarterback, but they maybe could have called him for holding on that.
And now with 1:45 left in the half, the Giants will spend their second timeout. Well, we're all excited about tonight because Jack is back. Tonight, the new season of 24 finally here with a 2-night, 4-hour premiere. Television's greatest thrill ride returns for a day that will stop the world. Kiefer Sutherland stars in 24. The new day begins tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on Fox. In the end, this has just been an inconsistent and not a very good first half by Eli Manning, any way you look at it.
Yeah, he's not as sharp as what we're used to seeing him, and the wind is a factor. I think the cold is a factor also. We see him trying to keep his hands warm, but he's not been real sharp with the football here in this first half.
Most points in the NFL in the last 2 minutes of the first half. They have a chance here, 3rd down and 5. Quick throw to Ward, trying to get a block on a screen, and Ward is brought down by Darren Howard, close to first down yardage, but looks to be maybe a hair short, and Philadelphia will spend their second timeout. More than a hair. They mark it back at the 17, a yard shy of a first down. It's 4th and 1.
Tom Coughlin trying to make a decision here as to what he wants to do.
I think the decision should be pretty clear. Take the field goal, try to get the lead, and see what happens defending with the wind at your back here at the end of the half.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what the hesitation is, because I would agree with that. I think right now, if you look at it, a 7-5 ball game, 1.5 minutes to go, you have an opportunity right now to take the lead. I think you take that, and you feel good about it going in. I mean, right now, yeah, would you like 7 points? Absolutely. But if the Eagles were to make a stop here, all the momentum then going in at half, forget the fact that the Eagles could go down here and get some more points of their own, but all the momentum then would be clearly behind the Philadelphia Eagles. And here they come.
So the field goal unit comes on. Carney missed his last try from 46. This is roughly a 35-yard field goal for a guy who during the regular season had 2 field goals blocked. Missed one, which was his last attempt at the Vikings week 17, and that's it. He's headed back to his second Pro Bowl. 20th year in the league, and a 35-yard try. Good snap, good hold, the kick, perfect. And the Giants lead by 1 with 1:33 left in the half. This is the 3rd meeting this season between these two. Week 10, Giants at Eagles. Trailing 36-31, less than 2 minutes remaining. Chase Blackburn makes the play and stops Brian Westbrook to sew up the win for New York on the road. And then Philadelphia just took it to the Giants defense, and in particular Brian Westbrook, 203 total yards in what was a 6-point win here on the 7th of December. And so far this season, the road team has won when the Giants and Eagles have gotten together.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the last time they played here in New York, the second game, you talked about it, a 6-point difference. That game was not as close as what the final score would indicate. You know, the Eagles got after them in every way. Yes, Brian Westbrook got after them, and then defensively also. You know, one of the scores that the Giants were able to get was on a blocked David Akers field goal right before the half. But the Eagles certainly come into this ball game with great confidence. One, because they've played very well, but then also because of the success they had in that game here.
Meanwhile, we've talked about the poor first half by Eli Manning. How about the other side and adjustments that need to be made offensively, whether it's here at the end of the first half or at halftime by Andy Reid for an offense that has 34 total yards here in the half.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to feel pretty good about the fact that it's an 8-7 game. I mean, as poorly as they've played, 34 yards in the field position that the Giants were afforded in that first half. The Giants, that is, just failed to capitalize on that.
Tynes kicks it away. Quentin Demps from just outside his end zone. Gets to the 25, and that's it. Plays made by Phillips, the rookie safety. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Highlights from this divisional weekend of the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. Tennessee Titans have to wake up today just sick about how their game unfolded yesterday against the Ravens. Congratulations to Baltimore. But I thought watching that game, Tennessee outplayed them, but the turnovers just killed them.
Yeah, they don't feel any better in Carolina today either. You know, and you work so hard to get a first-round bye and play at home, and to not take advantage of that, it's a long offseason.
Out of the shotgun, pass to Selleck, and he turned and was ready to run before he made the catch. Kept reading all week about Steve Spagnuolo saying 22 eyes on defense on number 36. And so far, they have shut down one of the most important weapons any offense has in the NFL, Brian Westbrook.
I'll tell you, you won't find too many offensive players in this league that are afforded more respect by opposing defensive coaches than Brian Westbrook.
Westbrook does not have a catch in this game. Deshaun Jackson has one here to the sideline, has a first down, and out of bounds just short of the Philadelphia 39.
I was going to say, you know, 22 eyes on Brian Westbrook. They might want to put a couple pair on Deshaun Jackson, because the first time these teams met, Deshaun Jackson had a pretty good game, and he's pretty explosive himself. You see him going across the field, but you know, you get so focused on Brian Westbrook, and as they should, they've got to be able to control him like they have. But Deshaun Jackson is one of those big-time players and a big play threat for this team.
McNabb throws behind Avant. Catch is made. Tackle is made by Thomas, a gain of 5. The Eagles have done their best to chip away at a frozen sideline where David Akers and Sav Rocca are getting loose. Akers has got a big leg and has not ever had a lot of success here at Giant Stadium, as Westbrook makes his first catch of the game and is out of bounds at the Giants 49. So on a frozen area of the sideline, Akers is getting loose, and in his career he's 11 for 22 overall, which includes 3 for 5 here against the Jets in this stadium.
And I bet a number of those misses have come and going in this direction, because they're going to have to get a lot closer than they normally would to get in David Akers' range going into this win.
47 seconds remain. Philadelphia has a timeout left. This one is Avant making the catch inside the 35 to the 34. 15 yards, and the Eagles use their final timeout.
Well, the Giants, they bring pressure inside, and you can see how much room they're giving Jason Avant. And he just runs a square in, and Donovan McNabb puts it right on him. You know, up until that point, their completions had been underneath things and doing a good job. Donovan was of managing the clock, getting some good yards, get out of bounds, stop the clock, and then they take the shot into the middle of the field. I'm a little surprised, however, that they burned their last time out with 40 seconds left. They could have gotten up there with the first down and clocked it, or they could have even run another play and maybe saved that last time out, you know, for the field goal team at some point later in this half.
First down at the Giant 34. McNabb near the sideline. Deshaun Jackson with a catch, and he rolls out of bounds at the 25. A 9-yard completion with 36 seconds left.
Yeah, and so for an Eagles offense that really hasn't done anything the entire first half, now they're moving it pretty methodically. And the reason for that is that from a defensive perspective in this situation, all you're thinking about is, I can't give up the big play. I don't want to give up a touchdown. And so all of a sudden, all those underneath throws become a lot easier to complete.
2nd and 1. McNabb throws it away. You saw the numbers now. 5 for 7, 50 yards on this drive. After Donovan started this game, 4 for 9, 18 yards and an interception. And while the Giants were the best in the league in the category of points scored in the last 2 minutes of the first half this season, the Eagles were right behind them at number 2.
And I think that's a significant statistic as well for both teams. And what it means is that more times than not, each of these teams has gone in feeling pretty good about what they had done there in the first half.
It's 3rd down and 1. Handoff is to Westbrook. He gets the first down, but the Eagles are without a timeout. The offense near the line after that quick play, and McNabb stops the clock with 18 seconds left. Let's go down to the field and Chris Myers.
Well, Joe, you were talking about Akers before. He was a little upset because he said he needed at least 5 yards of warm-up room on the side. And they brought a heater over prior to the game in the kicking net, but every time they would melt it, it seemed like it would freeze up again. He did say 40 yards. He felt comfortable enough from this end, considering the wind is in his face.
Right now, they are at a 40-yard field goal try. So they're right there on that number. 2nd and 10. McNabb steps up. Penalty flag is down as McNabb is shoved out of bounds by Antonio Pierce. 10 seconds left in the half. A flag is down.
While the quarterback was in the pocket, illegal contact, defense number 58. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic. First down.
So a 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. It's Antonio Pierce who is guilty of the violation. There he is. And that penalty will move the football down inside the 10.
Donovan at the end of that run, he really let up. It looked to me like he could have gotten a lot more out of that. I know Donovan is not the runner today that he was, say, 5 years ago, but yet he's still dangerous, and you still got to be careful, and you've got to concern yourself playing man coverage and not accounting for him in the pocket.
It's 1st and goal from the 7. Eagles have to be careful here and take a shot into the end zone, which they do. Incomplete. Deshaun Jackson. Now 4 seconds left, and the Eagles can't play with this anymore as Jackson gets up limping, and Akers is onto the field to try and get the lead back for the Eagles.
Yeah, it looked like Corey Webster got away with a little bit. You see Deshaun Jackson trying to come out of that break, and a couple grabs there by Corey Webster, who is really finally playing to the level that they had hoped that he would when they drafted him out of LSU a couple of years ago in the 2nd round.
This for a 2-point lead at the half. A 25-yard try from David Akers. It was now 5 for 5 this postseason for Philadelphia. 10-8 is the score as the Eagles took it down the field and answered the field goal by the Giants. It's a 2-point lead. The Eagles, the number 6 seed. The Giants, the number 1 seed. Bitter rivals from the NFC East. And a 2-point lead for the Eagles at the half.
No matter how you prepare for game day, Visa is the way to go.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles will get the ball to start this second half. And they will be working in the same direction they were just headed moments ago when they got it down the field, got it inside the 10-yard line, and Donovan McNabb finally was able to put something together offensively to come up with the 25-yard try for Akers. He was good. It's 10-8. Brian Westbrook has not been a factor to this point. Brandon Jacobs, who's been pumped up all week, continues that to start this second half, and these two clubs are battling for a date with the Arizona Cardinals next Sunday.
Yeah, and I think I'd go with a little more Brandon Jacobs in the second half. I mean, you think back to the first game between these two teams. He ran the ball very well in that game. He ran it well the second game also, although he was unable to finish that game because of an injury. And in this first half, he's run the football well. I think I'd ride him until he just couldn't go.
So the Eagles will play into the wind in this third quarter, and as Jimmy Johnson mentioned at half, play with it in the fourth quarter. That could definitely be a factor. Tynes kicking with it, hits it to Quentin Demps on the return. Plenty of room to run, and Demps is forced out by Tynes after a big return. Demps is out to the 47, and a 46-yard return gives the Eagles a great starting point here to start the second half.
Yeah, kind of the way the game started with the Giants and Ahmad Bradshaw getting the kickoff and taking it down the field and giving his offense great field position. Demps does it here, and he's able to get to the edge. Good job of blocking.
So now the Eagles, who had 63 yards on their last drive after compiling only 34 before it, start with a throw to Avant. Jason Avant has become a favorite target for McNabb. Good for just 2. Down to the field, and Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, the Giants trickled into the locker room with a lot of animated voices saying, let's go. Let's get this puppy on the road. Tom Coughlin, meantime, said, at least we've got to get some drives going to get to the red zone at least. He also said that Eli Manning, I asked him, you know, is he kind of playing like he's frozen solid? He said, well, you know what? At least he's got to do is get some more accuracy than he has in the first half. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you. This one is batted down and now ends up in the arms of Robbins. Big Fred Robbins is tripped up. And only the arms of Kevin Curtis may have saved a touchdown on the return by Fred Robbins.
Yeah, well, the Giants needed a play, and they're able to get the deflection there by Chase Blackburn, and Fred Robbins. I mean, that's a pretty good move there by a big guy. And someone who's been banged up here over the last month of the season, he's moving pretty good. Kevin Curtis is just able to get enough of him there at his feet to get him to the ground. But Fred Robbins, I'll tell you, he's obviously a big guy. He's a big part of this defense inside. But he's one of the more athletic big men I've seen.
Plus, he was just running with the wind.
Maybe that was it.
Here's Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs. Here come the Giants. 10 yards and a first down for New York.
You talked about Brandon Jacobs and how all week long he's been trying to pump up this team. He's excited about playing in the playoffs and what they're capable of doing. And right now they're kind of feeding off this crowd, and I think it's important. What they failed to do there in the first half was they failed to finish drives. And after that turnover, nice run there on first down by Jacobs. It's important for the Giants to finish a drive.
Something they have not been able to do yet. Jacobs cuts back, hits by many, including Gokong, the last one to throw a shoulder. Abi Amiri was in there at the beginning of it. A 5-yard run by Jacobs.
But I was talking about, you know, going with Brandon Jacobs, and right now he's leaving the game, and they're coming back in. You know, looks like with maybe Derek Ward, but nope, Derek Ward's on the sidelines as well. But on running down, no, Derek Ward is back in the game, but on running downs, Brandon Jacobs is, to me, is the guy who needs to be in there. There's Derek Ward split out wide.
The Eagles are playing defensively without Asante Samuel, who is in getting an IV. Third time inside the red zone. And this pass incomplete as Derek Ward started to run with it before he secured it. They've run that play a couple of times, and it's now 3rd and 5.
And you can see the frustration on Eli Manning's face, and that's a hard catch. It's a catch that should have been made. But when you're talking about the receiver, Derek Ward, coming towards the quarterback and then a ball being thrown at him with some pretty good velocity, that thing's pretty hard right now with the weather the way it is and coming at him pretty hot. One he certainly should have caught. And now a big 3rd down as to whether or not they're going to keep this drive going or having to settle for yet another field goal.
So now Quentin Michael is out on the sideline looking at his left knee. Samuel is not on the field as well. 3rd and 5. Pass is behind Kevin Boss. Well played defensively by Philadelphia, and Sean Considine, who took Quentin Michael's spot, is the one who broke it up. And now a 35-yard try, and Eli Manning has not had a good game to this point as that ball just went knuckling to Kevin Boss.
Yeah, and that's as we've said, that's the problem. And a hard ball there for Boss to try to handle. Good job of defense by Considine, and even though if they make this, they get 3 points and they're happy about that, that was a disappointing series for New York.
35-yard try by Carney, who has for the most part been Mr. Automatic all year for the Giants. 4th lead change of the day. 11-10 New York.
On Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. By Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood. By Best Buy, you happier. And by the all-new 09 F-150. It's not just a new truck, it's a new F-150.
Asante Samuel just came back onto the field after getting IV fluids and missing that first defensive series after the interception by Fred Robbins. But now the Eagles offense about to get it back as Lawrence Tynes kicks it away. Another one for Quentin Demps from the goal line. And Demps out to the 25. Somebody lost a shoe out there. Kevin Curtis tackled Fred Robbins, saved a touchdown, and then Dawkins celebrates what was a defensive win for the Eagles moments ago. Starting at their own 25, now down by 1. Philadelphia fakes the handoff. They roll out McNabb, and the pass is off the fingertips of Brent Selleck.
I'll tell you, neither quarterback has really been able to throw the ball with much effectiveness, and obviously the wind is playing a role in that. I think the cold is also, but even on some of these shorter throws, those are not difficult throws to make really under any conditions, and yet they've struggled even with some of the more simpler throws.
Both quarterbacks are under 50% and under 100 yards throwing the football. Here is a carry for Buckhalter out to the 30, a gain of 5, but a penalty flag comes in.
Holding offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty is still 2nd down.
They get Todd Hermans, who Andy Reid will tell you has played the best out of anybody up front along his offensive line.
Yeah, a guy who a year ago really struggled, was very disappointed in the way that he played, but he's come on this year and played very well. There he is at left guard, and you see the hold there that he got on Michael Johnson.
Now Quentin Michael limps off. They fake the handoff, and that's behind and over the head of Brian Westbrook. McNabb ends up on his back. 3rd and 20 coming up. Here's Chris Myers.
Well, Joe, just a halftime report. Deshaun Jackson, who went off limping, appears to be okay, but they're watching the situation. Asante Samuel will be okay and back in defensively. It's the knee for Quentin Michael. He's iffy. And at the half, Andy Reid said we have to do a better job protecting our quarterback, and then he rubbed his beard and walked away.
He's got a lot of it to rub. They didn't do a very good job protecting Donovan on that screen play. He took a pretty good hit.
It's 3rd and 20. A blitz. Can't bring down McNabb, and the throw to a wide open Avant, who makes a move and has a huge Philadelphia first down. The Giants came so close, could not bring down McNabb, and Donovan did the rest.
Those are some of the moves and stunts that Minnesota ran last week that gave this Eagles front some real problems. The Giants do it here, and they get pressure on Donovan, but he's able to buy just enough time to get it to Avant, who got lost in coverage. They're in man coverage on the backside, but nobody was with Avant.
Matthias Kiwanuka just left with his arm hanging, his right arm. That was a 21-yard completion on 3rd and 20. Aired out, sideline. Penalty flag is down, and this pass is dropped by Curtis. Wide open, and the pass hit him right in the hands, and Curtis could not hang on. But a flag is down. Mike Carey has been busy.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 31. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, here's Kevin Curtis on the outside. Donovan's able to get the safety, Kenny Phillips, to bite on Avant inside, and a perfect throw to Kevin Curtis. And normally he makes that. I mean, the ball just comes up and hits him in the helmet. And then on the other side, there's the penalty on Aaron Ross. I didn't see a whole lot there. Donovan was looking the other way. Typically, those aren't called.
On first down, McNabb hits Buckhalter, who gets popped by Antonio Pierce, and then Pierce gets hit by Barry Cofield. But just to go back for a moment to that 3rd and 20, that's what Donovan McNabb has always done. Kept the play alive with his legs, didn't go down, and ends up completing it to Avant. Now as the drive continues, here's Pierce getting hit by Cofield, and he's got to be happy just to be able to get up after that.
Yeah, I agree with you on Donovan. I mean, many times and we talked a little bit about it even last week, that when they create big plays, it's because of Donovan buying himself some time.
Over the middle, McNabb hits. And this time, Kevin Curtis is able to hang on. A 15-yard completion, and the Eagles have it moving now.
Yeah, you know, for an Eagles offense that had been struggling throughout that first half, and then when the Giants got that field goal, and right before the end of the first half, you've seen this offense really come alive a little bit, and Donovan's starting to settle in and starting to make some better throws, and they were starting to move it before Fred Robbins got the interception, and now here they come right back trying to answer off the field goal that New York got.
Here is Buckhalter, left side. Good play made by Butler. James Butler came up in run support, made the hit, no gain, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and New York defensively has done a good job of shutting down this run. And you know, in years past, Philadelphia, even though they didn't run the ball a lot, they ran it very well the few times they did run it. This year, they've not been good running the football, whether they've run it a lot or run it very few. Steve Spagnuolo doing a nice job here, not letting them get Brian Westbrook going on the ground.
2nd and 10, another blitz. Johnson gets there late. The pass is out of the reach of Avant. Michael Johnson coming on the blitz, could not get to McNabb. And now Justin Tuck is having trouble getting up. We've seen Tuck, Kiwanuka, Michael, Asante Samuel. And Tuck is going to need help. 3rd down and 10 when we come back. Way outside of field goal range are the Eagles, down by 1. 3rd down and 10. Eagles protect McNabb, but he has nowhere to go with it, and now underneath it's Buckhalter. Another 3rd down conversion, now 5 for 8 for the Philadelphia offense, 19 yards and a first down.
Well, that time the Giants decided not to bring pressure. Here's Buckhalter. They looked like they were going to bring backers, but then they pulled out. 4-man rush gave Donovan time to move around, and then Buckhalter just ad-libbing. We saw a similar play against Dallas a couple of weeks ago. Donovan works to his right. Correll Buckhalter comes back underneath. They get the ball in his hands, and he's running away from the defenders.
Now Jason Avant is flat on his back and getting looked at. Now up on his knees. He's rolled over. Now back the other way. So he's unable to get off. And then moments ago, before the timeout, Justin Tuck went down on his knees. It's first down, Philadelphia, just outside the Giant 20.
On Fox is sponsored by Visa. No matter how you prepare for game day, Visa is the way to go.
Steve Spagnuolo still trying to figure out a way for his defense to get a sack on McNabb. They do have a safety on him in this game, which is the difference on the scoreboard right now. Eagles have abandoned the run on this drive until right now as they hand to Westbrook. Brought down by Kenny Phillips. A gain of 4 down to Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, Justin Tuck, he has aggravated that injury he's been struggling with, and that's his knee and the lower leg area. They retaped his left knee. He is back in the game, as you see, and we'll have to watch, I guess, for his effectiveness. Back to you.
And Pam, they move him all over the defensive formation. Now he's at left end. On 2nd down and 5. McNabb, Westbrook overthrown, and again McNabb ends up on the ground looking for his top target.
And going into that corner of the end zone is probably the most difficult throw for any quarterback in this stadium. That's where the wind is really swirling a little bit differently than it is anywhere else. You're into the wind, but there's a little bit more action going on. And this was a ball that typically Donovan will be able to complete. And it's a good route by Brian Westbrook. He's open, an easy throw under normal conditions, but these aren't normal conditions.
11th play of this drive. It's 3rd and 5. Pressure. Pass was behind the intended target, Westbrook. Kiwanuka was coming, and McNabb had to get rid of it.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, at the end, if things continue the way that they have, and people look at the numbers and say, wow, neither team had a sack, as was the case the last time these two teams played, with the Giants not able to get Donovan to the ground. But yet pressure is still an important part of it. And they have been able to get pressure on Donovan. And that last one forced Donovan to get the ball out sooner than what he had wanted. And that's why they failed to convert.
35-yard try for the lead. Akers drills it. And he has now made 17 straight postseason field goals. A new NFL record. McNabb got the team down the field and back on top. For the kick from David Akers. 5th lead change of the day, despite a total of 24 points scored. Philly up by 2. Bradshaw on the return. Out to the 32. And we welcome you back inside our booth. I'm Joe, that's Troy, and now the Giants offense is back to the field. Boy, they've had a lot of opportunities and really haven't done a whole lot with those chances to this point.
No, they haven't. I mean, they've had times when they've been able to get the ball to people. They haven't been able to do that. They've had good field position. They haven't been able to do that. I think the real key, I was talking about it a little bit earlier, Brandon Jacobs has run the ball well in previous games against these guys. He's running the ball well here in this game. I think that get him in the game, keep him in the game, run the football with him, make the Eagles stop him. I think right now both quarterbacks struggling, really getting much going within the passing game.
They do go back to Jacobs, and he is out to the 34-yard line, picked up 3. And yet I know you well enough to know that you believe at some point Eli Manning is going to have to figure out how to control these throws and going to have to make some play down the field to give his team a chance to win.
Well, the way this game is unfolding, I think that's going to be the case, whether it's the Giants or whether it's Philadelphia. It just is shaping up to me that field goals are great, but somebody's going to make a play in the passing game and should be able to, because they're overloading in the run defense, that these receivers are afforded some real opportunities. Which one's going to make the play?
Jacobs on the left side. Out across the 35, picks up 2. Brandon Jacobs is 6'4", 264 pounds. The front 7 for this Philadelphia defense averages 6'2", 266. Brandon Jacobs is a unique back as he checks out. Derek Ward, the third down back, comes in. And it's 3rd and 5 for New York.
And this is an area where Philadelphia has excelled, and it's an area where the Giants have been pretty good throughout the year also, but here today the Giants have not. The Eagles have won this battle on 3rd down.
Giants are only 1 for 8 on 3rd down. A blitz. Considine can't get there in time, and the pass brilliantly dropped into Hickson. Not only the best throw of the day from Eli Manning, but it came at a good time on 3rd and 5.
Yeah, because Considine, he comes as a safety blitz, and Eli hangs right in there. And then when you get an opportunity down the field, you don't get a lot of these kinds of throws to make. You got to be able to connect. And Hickson doing a good job of getting down the field with pretty good coverage, but a perfectly thrown ball by Eli Manning.
Hickson dropped one downfield against the Eagles earlier in the year, this time in the bigger game. Play clock was at 1. Hickson hauled it in for 34 yards on a 3rd and 5. Giants call a timeout. First down at the Philly 30 when we come back. First player depicted in that little video piece, Concrete Charlie. All the names through the years, whether it was Randall Cunningham or Jason Sehorn or the last person on that list, Plexico Burris. Play action from Manning all day for Eli, who throws high for Hickson. That pass sailed out of the hand of Eli Manning. Sheldon Brown with the hit after the ball went through the hands of Dominic Hickson.
It was good coverage there by Philadelphia. As you saw, Eli had a lot of time to find somebody, just nowhere really for him to throw it. But I want to go back to the timeout. You know, on a big play like they had there to Dominic Hickson, it's important because the play clock starts immediately. You've got to get into the huddle and you got to get out of the huddle. That timeout could prove costly as we move through this game.
That is something that has plagued Eli Manning certainly over the years as Brandon Jacobs tries the right side, and well played. Gokong gets credit for the tackle, but he had help up front. How would you like this big body headed towards you, Brandon Jacobs?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't. And Chris Gokong, who's a linebacker, and usually linebackers have size advantages over those that they're tackling. Well, he doesn't, and neither does the defensive line. You know, when talking with Asante Samuel, I asked him, you know, what's it like trying to tackle Brandon Jacobs? His only response was, he's a big dude, ain't he? You know, he's not getting any smaller.
3rd down and 9. A blitz from Michael. Pass for Ward, incomplete, broken up by Cole. Trent Cole was back there in coverage and broke up the pass for Derek Ward, and now a relatively long field goal try coming from Carney.
Yeah, and you see the pressure, and whether or not they would have been able to complete this pass, it wasn't going anywhere. A good job by Philadelphia. You know, Brandon Jacobs talked about getting him more carries because of the success that he had been having running the football. Well, he didn't run the football nearly as effectively on that possession.
47-yard try. Carney struggled even at this end with anything over 40 yards during pregame warmups. He's missed once in this game. This kick, no good. Carney missed 3 times all year, including 2 blocks. He has missed twice in this game. Once from 46, this one from 47. And that ball just ran out of steam and was wide to the left.
Yeah, and for a guy who has played as well as he has, or has kicked the ball as well as he has all year, as you said, 2 misses now here today. The last miss that he had that wasn't blocked was then 2 weeks ago against the Minnesota Vikings. You kind of wonder now where Carney is, you know, as this game moves along too. I mean, it is shaping up, as it has up to this point, to be a field goal game. And now, yeah, they've got Tynes, but Tynes hasn't kicked a whole lot this year, as we've talked about. I think touchdowns are going to be hard to come by, and you just kind of wonder where he's at right now. Now, he's a pro. I mean, he's a veteran guy, as we know. He's been around a long time. But those aren't easy things to shake off.
44-year-old John Carney, 20th year in the league. And that was kicking with the wind. Handoff is to Westbrook. Pierce, Butler, both in on the stop, a gain of 5.
You know, you just kind of get the feeling that at some point Westbrook's going to do something, you know, pretty special, and it hasn't happened yet. But you know, knowing his talents and how they try to get him the ball and how they're able to get him the ball, you just kind of sense that at some point something's going to break and he's going to make a big play.
2nd down and 5. McNabb trying to drop it off for Buckhalter. He was covered by Terrell Thomas, who kind of peeled back. Good pressure by Barry Cofield on that play. Brings up 3rd and 5. And on 3rd down, the pass is caught by Curtis. 1st down, an 8-yard completion to Kevin Curtis.
I tell you what, that is a great throw by Donovan McNabb. He's got pressure in his face. Kevin Curtis runs a route. Great coverage by Corey Webster. But because of where the ball was thrown, you're going to notice that it's on his back shoulder and away from coverage. And if he had led him where normally the ball you want to put it, I think Corey Webster then was in a great position to be able to knock that one down.
Philly now 60% on 3rd down conversions offensively, 6 for 10. McNabb throws, and this one's broken up by Webster, and they'll throw a flag. Webster interfered with Kevin Curtis, and Tom Coughlin is all the way out onto the field. There's a discussion going on between members of this officiating crew.
You see the left hand there is on Curtis's left shoulder. And I think that's what drew the penalty.
There was no foul for defensive pass interference. All the action was legal. 2nd down.
Well, one official overruled the other. And once they came together, and they were hearing plenty of it from Tom Coughlin in their ears right over there by the Giants bench, they pick up the flag. But so often you see when that left arm, kind of like a hooking action, goes around the body, they'll throw the flag, but they pick it up.
Yeah, the official that threw the flag, you know, had a pretty good vantage point there, and he's the one who saw that left hand.
2nd and 10. Timeout, Philadelphia. Called by the bench. Now Andy Reid's hot, and why not? I mean, he's wondering why in the world they just picked up the flag for pass interference. And I frankly don't blame him.
No, I don't blame him for being hot either, and they're probably telling him for the same reason that we took that run off the board there before the end of the half.
So they're picking up flags in this game. They didn't throw a flag in that Baltimore-Tennessee game, which is something that will be talked about all week, with no call for a delay of game. And you see that grab, a little bit of a turn of the shoulder on the part of Webster. There it is, the left hand on the left bicep of Kevin Curtis, and then the good play with a right arm. And it was that man right there, the side judge, who threw the flag down the field.
And there's not a lot there. I mean, if they had not have called it, I don't think anybody would have been yelling and screaming that, hey, that should have been pass interference. I think what Andy's upset about is the fact that a flag was thrown, and if you throw the flag and deem it to be pass interference, then don't let the fact that Tom Coughlin's over there on that side of the field then talk you into picking it up.
2nd and 10. McNabb over the middle. L.J. Smith is ripped down, and there may have been a face mask in there on the tackle by Pierce. Antonio Pierce got a lot of the face mask of L.J. Smith right there.
Personal foul, major face mask, defense number 58. From the end of the run, automatic, first down.
So 21 yards total on that play, a 6-yard completion, and then the face mask.
Yeah, and then you see the job that they're doing on Justin Tuck. I mean, he's gotten everybody's attention. You know, they say 22 eyes on Westbrook. I'm not so sure there's not 22 eyes on Justin Tuck right now in the protection that they're putting on him. And he looks gassed out there. We saw him go down a little bit earlier. It looked at that time like Antonio Pierce was telling him to go down to get a little rest.
Pass to Curtis. Blackburn can't bring him down, and Kevin Curtis is down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Play was over. Ball came out after Curtis was down, and that's good for 15 yards and another Philadelphia first down.
You know, zone coverage there, and Kevin Curtis just throttles it down so that he's in a clear window and showing his numbers there to Donovan McNabb. Good route there by Kevin Curtis, and good after the catch.
Still no sacks for the Giants. In over 10 quarters of football against Philadelphia. Here's Selleck. The hit by Dockery is not enough. Butler comes over to help. So does Blackburn, and that completion for 5 yards. Hard to believe that Steve Spagnuolo and this Giants defense, in 3 games against the Eagles, no sacks. The other 14 games, 42 sacks. 6th highest total in the league this year, and nothing today, although it comes with an asterisk because of the play by Tuck that was eventually ruled a safety. 2nd and 4. Westbrook a yard short of a first down. 3rd and 1.
I think one of the big reasons, Joe, that they, at least the last 2 games that these two teams have played against each other, why the Giants haven't been able to get to Donovan and bring him to the ground for a sack is because there's been a commitment to running the football. I think that they had to the last time because of the wind conditions. In this game, I think it's more along the lines of this is what we've been doing now for the last 6 weeks, and it's worked pretty well for us.
Eagles have run it 18 times. Giants have run it 21. 3rd and 1. Toss to Westbrook. Trying to pick his way. First down from inches outside the 1. And with that play, the Eagles now will be finished having to work into the wind. This will be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
I tell you, Hank Baskett does a good job of sealing the edge, and then they pull Trey Thomas out in front of Westbrook to pick up that first down.
We are finished with 3 quarters here at Giant Stadium in what is a physical battle between New York and Philadelphia. Eagles on top. 1st and goal for Philly when we come back.
This January, TV's biggest phenomenon is back. Be there for the thrilling 2-hour premiere event.
Let's get this party started.
American Idol. The new season begins this Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
The road to happiness. Something's brewing here.
Medioso, non-fat, $7.75.
$8?
Hello, there's a drought in the Moroccan rainforest.
Moroccan rainforest?
That's right.
Put your money in an orange savings account. Watching your money grow, that's a habit that leads to happiness.
Thanks. No thanks.
High interest, no fees, no minimums. That's the boost your savings need on the road to happiness.
If you're shopping for a car, you should know that Toyota has been rated the most fuel-efficient full-line car manufacturer on the road today. No matter what the price of gas does, it's good to know Toyota quality saves money. And now you'll find special leases and easy financing on the fuel-efficient Corolla and on the gas-friendly RAV4. So see your Toyota dealer now to start saving now. Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
Hey, this is Hugh Douglas. Make sure you watch Good Day Philadelphia tomorrow for all the Eagles-Giants highlights right here.
What an opportunity in front of the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a 1st and goal. The ball is at the 1. A touchdown and an extra point would make it a 2-score game. And the Giants will have to work into the wind here in the 4th quarter. Road teams in the playoffs so far are 4-2. Fake the handoff, the flip for Selleck, and a touchdown for Philadelphia. Touchdown Eagles, and with the extra point, Akers can make it a 9-point game. Good snap, good hold. It's 20-11.
You know, the Eagles go offset with their offensive backfield formation, and usually that means play action. You see these two right here, and so they come play action off of that, and that allows Westbrook to make an immediate move to the flat, and then it puts Selleck there in the corner in behind that. And it forces the defense to make a decision. As you see, Butler's got to decide, am I going to take Westbrook as he did? And then Selleck able to get in behind that for a pretty easy completion and touchdown.
So Butler's eyes were on Westbrook. McNabb's eyes were on Selleck, who last week led the Eagles in receptions in their win at the Metrodome, and now gets the big touchdown to make it a 9-point game. And the reaction by James Butler, he was stuck.
Yeah, he was stuck, and right now the Giants are stuck because, as you talked about, Joe, right now with a 9-point deficit, 2-possession game. Obviously a lot of time on the clock, but the Giants are going to need to get something going, and more importantly, they're going to have to score a touchdown, and they're going to have to finish a drive, and that's been the problem with them throughout this game.
So an 11-1 start for the Giants. Lost 3 of their last 4 coming in. And trailing here to their divisional rival, the Eagles. Here's Bradshaw trying to give him a lift. He gets it out to the 24. 27-yard turn by Ahmad Bradshaw. This February, the world's best drivers return to Fox to drop the flag on another intense and thrilling season of NASCAR with the 51st running of the Great American Race. Plus, Grammy Award winner and country music superstar Keith Urban will perform during the Daytona 500 pre-race show. Fox Sports, the exclusive home of the Daytona 500. It all begins Sunday, February 15th in high def. Starting at their own 24. Starting with a run with Brandon Jacobs. And a good start to this drive as Jacobs gets 11, brought down by Trent Cole downfield.
Well, this is the offensive package that Jim Johnson was concerned about. You're going to see Rich Seibert, who's going to pull out. It's a power play, or excuse me, it was David Deal, the left tackle, and then you see Jacobs is able to get in behind that block. And a good job also by Chris Snee the right guard getting up to the second level.
Jacobs is averaging 5.5 yards a carry. Made the most out of that as he takes it to the 40. You talk about finishing your drives. The last 4 possessions for the Giants have all ended inside Philadelphia territory. 2 have resulted in field goals by John Carney and 2 in misses by John Carney. They have not been able to pound it in.
And the longer this game goes, I mean, right now there is a lot of pressure on the Giants. The #1 seed, first round bye, playing the #6 seed, all of those things. And they know that. There's a sense of urgency, certainly, right now with this Giants team.
2nd down and 5. Here is Jacobs. Nowhere to go. Bradley plugged it up in the middle. Gain of 2. 3rd and short coming up. And the Giants and the Eagles are both kind of tired of the comparisons that people drew all week with the way the Eagles came into this postseason, with the way they've played, the trip that they've taken to get to this point. The comparisons will continue if they're able to get a win here on the road like the Giants did last year at Dallas in this round, knocking off the #1 seeded Cowboys. It's 3rd and 3. Handoff is to Ward inside, and Derek Ward fights. Depends on the spot.
Tell you, that's close, and that was an interesting call there by Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, on 3rd down, trying to pick that up, moving laterally here. You see he's wanting to hit it a little bit sooner than what he did, but he had to keep going towards the sideline to get going north and south. Now they're saying that it's 4th down, but you've got to be able to get a measurement on this so you at least know where you're at.
Yeah, you're right. Mike Carey already signaled 4th down, and then Tom Coughlin was screaming for a measurement.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes an official knows that it's a 4th down, but if you're a coach, you want to see exactly how much you have left to go. And if they say, sometimes they won't even give you the measurement, but you keep pushing for it, so you at least understand whether or not you feel safe going for it on 4th down. I think right here, of course, Tom Coughlin throwing out the red flag. He's going to challenge the spot. But even if they're short, I think I go for it on 4th down.
So Tom Coughlin is going to challenge the spot that this officiating crew gave him on the run.
On the field as the ball is short of the line of gain, it's being challenged by New York.
Pretty good dexterity by Mike Carey. Make the announcement and step over the chains coming, and here's another look. They challenge that spot. We'll get the call when we come back.
New truck?
Yep, real trucker's truck. You know, for truckers.
How is it on gas?
19 highway?
V8?
They said V6.
Have fun being a real trucker.
See ya.
Tundra's V6 offers an EPA estimated 19 highway. Silverado's V8 offers 21. Chevy Silverado, America's best truck.
Now current GM owners can buy this Silverado extended cab with an EPA estimated 20 mpg highway for around $25,500 after all offers.
On my show, I get to try the best food from around the country. Bet you wish you could too, right? Well, guess what? It's time you did. Wow. Now the best food from my show has a new home at Fridays. It's the ultimate recipe showdown menu. Fridays took these rockin' recipes and added them to their already awesome menu, starting at just $5.99. Dessert, anyone?
Oh, I took my beer.
Give me more Fridays.
All right, class, let's button it. Becker.
Here.
Callahan. Callahan. Delivery confirmation on Callahan.
Drop him off at 8:15.
Gymnasium.
No, sir, no Callahan.
Always.
No Callahan. Just a freshman.
Thank you.
No emails from his parents. Drivers, I need a 20 on Callahan. Got him. Reroute him straight to detention.
Get more done now with the new BlackBerry Curve, the only BlackBerry Curve with Nextel Direct Connect.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Ultimate Recipe Showdown menu at TGI Fridays. Give me more Fridays. By Chevy, an American Revolution. And by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
We've looked at it a number of times, and I think most of us are in agreement that the Crew put the ball in the right spot.
Yeah, that's about the line where they got to gain in order to pick up the first down. In fact, you could almost argue that they should move the spot back a few more inches, that the Giants would lose a few inches. Now, this is an interesting challenge to me by Tom Coughlin, because to challenge that, I think you've got to be pretty certain you're going to win the challenge in a game like this, because if they don't win the challenge, now they're going to be down to one timeout left with a full quarter left to be played. And in all likelihood, this game's going to come down to that timeout being very meaningful, and they've already burned one, you know, with the timeout that Eli had to take.
The ruling on the field is correct. Therefore, New York is charged with their second team timeout.
And I would say this along those lines, Troy. Tom Coughlin is standing right there. And I think either with his eyes or with his heart, he thought that Derek Ward had enough for the first down. He threw the flag, and now Eli Manning back into the huddle, and on 4th and inches, the Giants will go for it. Down by 9 at their own 45.
Hold on. Till we're back. Rest,
well, I would think this would be a quarterback sneak.
Rest till we're back. Here we go.
It is. And he didn't move at all. It certainly looks like the Philadelphia defense held, but it depends on what kind of forward progress they gave Eli Manning, and they did not give him enough. Philly takes over.
Well, you take a look, you find it hard to believe that you couldn't get low enough in order to pick up 4 inches or 6 inches or whatever it was. You know, the line gets stood up, but you got to get lower and get underneath all that as the quarterback. If you do nothing else but dive forward at the feet of the offensive lineman, you're going to pick up that first down. You can't run as high as what Eli was trying to pick this up. I mean, there's enough movement there that you should be able to stay low enough as the quarterback to pick up a first down with no more than what they needed.
Broderick Bunkley, who has had a great year, was in the middle of that and shut down that play for the Eagles, who continue to ride their defense. Now they'll try to ride Westbrook as he picks up 3. What a stop by this Philadelphia defense, which ended the year ranked 3rd in the NFL overall, the #1 defense in the NFC. And Bunkley is getting congratulations, and rightly so, for what he did in the interior defensive line for the Eagles.
Well, he has had a heck of a year, and he's playing well here today, and none bigger than that last one.
Defensive coordinator for Philadelphia, Jim Johnson, is up in the booth for the first time with the Eagles, bothered by a bad back. Here's Curtis. Pierce makes the play. Curtis is down at the 45 yards short of a first down. So 3rd down and 5.
Well, this is a big 3rd down. No question about that. I mean, if they pick this one up, in all likelihood, they're going to have an opportunity to at least tack 3 more points on the board.
Now the Giants ask for a stop from their defense. McNabb swings it out. Westbrook doesn't make it. Good play by Corey Webster.
I tell you, that is a great play by Corey Webster. When Westbrook caught this, I thought automatic first down. And Corey Webster comes in and gets lower than Brian Westbrook, hard to do, and stops him clean in his tracks. You see Webster, he's retreating, sees that Westbrook has it, comes right at him. You know, how many times do you see a defensive back just dive at a runner's ankles? If Webster had done that, Westbrook probably picks up the first down. Great play by Webster.
What a good job by the Giants defense after the letdown of not making it on 4th and inches. Dominic Hickson with a fair catch outside his 10. They'll mark it at the 11. That's where the Giants offense will go back to work. 4th quarter, down by 9.
Oh, 3 o'clock. You
guys know what happens at 3 o'clock? Our brewmasters sample the Budweiser. They actually taste all the different batches from 12 breweries. I guess it's a way to ensure that perfect balance, you know, of flavor, refreshment. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sure they all do something like that.
You're very good.
Change your mind? See you Tuesday.
So fine that I really want to make you mine.
An onion raised on anger and lots of spice. Waiting for harvest. Waiting for vengeance.
Hot! Hot!
Angry onions make the angry whopper bite you back.
It's 4 o'clock. You want to dial in?
Yeah, you know, these calls would go a lot better if we had an office.
This is our office.
This is your daughter's dorm room, Bob.
Listen, we have internet, telephone, dorm lounge. It's all free.
We could just do business at FedEx office. They've got Wi-Fi, workstations. A lot of them are open 24/7. It'll still save us an overhead.
Hey, baby. Here, give me sugar. Got a room.
Technically, this is her room.
Hello, we're on.
We understand. You want less overhead. FedEx Office.
They said it couldn't be done. They were wrong. The Sierra from GMC. V8 power and performance along with exceptional fuel economy. The Sierra from GMC. Engineering that happens when you never say never.
Qualified buyers get 3.9% APR financing for 60 months on the 2009 GMC Sierra. See your local Buick Pontiac GMC dealer.
Any way you look at it, Eli Manning has had a poor game. 9 of 21, 121 yards, no touchdowns. An interception early that led to 7 points picked by Asante Samuel. And now starting at his own 11, down by 9. The #1 seed in trouble. #2 seed in the NFC lost last night. Ward stays up. Out to the 25. Quentin Demps on the tackle. A run of 14 yards for Derek Ward, a free agent to be.
Derek Ward doing a good job of really just keeping his feet going and getting through some tackles. There were a few opportunities that the Eagles had there in order to get him on the ground, and yet Derek Ward was able to keep the play alive.
Remember, only one timeout remains for the Giants. They lost one on a challenge and lost one when they had to use it with the play clock expiring. Ward right side. Good run. Back-to-back strong runs by Derek Ward. This one good for 8.
And you think about Derek Ward, who was signed by the Giants off the Jets practice squad, and how productive he has been. You know, the last couple of years, he hasn't even been healthy to play, and so this is the first time in many years that he's had a chance to be playing. Hasn't been in the playoff game ever, first one, and he's doing a pretty good job. Now, what you get with him that you don't get with Brandon Jacobs is you get the receiving threat. You know, a guy who was 4th on the team in receptions this year.
2nd and 2, back to Ward, picks up a first down. Down to the field, and Chris Myers.
Joe, you mentioned Jim Johnson, defensive coordinator, upstairs, a little unusual. Down on the field, Pete Jenkins, defensive line coach, interacting with the defensive players. And as Troy pointed out earlier, the all-out commitment to the run by this Eagle defense, Jenkins has reminded the defense, stay committed to the run. Even though we're in this situation, it's effective. We don't need to blitz.
Which brings up the larger point about the absence of Plaxico Burress. That was Dawkins circled on first down. Manning over the middle, hits Toomer, first catch out to the 45. And Tom Coughlin on the sideline says, let's speed it up. Get up to the line, call a play, let's hurry it up.
Yeah, there's plenty of time, but I understand, you know, you see that clock ticking and you want to start getting off as many plays as you can, knowing that it's at least a 2-possession ball game.
Handoff is to Jacobs. Runs into a wall, keeps going, picks up a yard, 3rd and short coming up.
And this is big right now, because when you look at this game and why the score is what it is, one is because of the interception that Asante Samuel got that set up the touchdown. But then the other big part of this is just the Giants have not been very good on 3rd down. They've run the ball relatively well, but on 3rd downs, they've not converted and they've had to punt.
Just 2 for 11 on 3rd down in this game. It's 3rd and 3. A direct snap to Ward running right. Parker makes the play for Philadelphia. What a good play by Jaquay Parker. And now it's 4th down again for the Giants. They went for it before. And they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, and I think that they should, since they did previously. But this is the 2nd time now on 3rd down that the Eagles have been able to stretch the running play. And both times it's been Derek Ward. You know, he wants to be able to hit that thing much sooner than what he's able to. But because of the play of Jaquay Parker and the others along that defensive line, they've been able to stretch it out and keep them from picking up the 1st down.
It's 4th down and 2. They stay on the ground with Jacobs. Jacobs doesn't appear to have enough. It depends on the spot. He appeared to be a half-yard short. Stuart Bradley, middle linebacker, made the play.
Well, there just wasn't much movement inside. Take a look and see, and you see that right there, Broderick Bunkley is the one who holds it up. But Broderick Bunkley, for the 2nd time on 4th down, he does it. On the previous 4th down, he did it. On this 4th down, he holds up Sean O'Hara, the center, and backs him right into Brandon Jacobs.
We're going to have a measurement. Certainly looked like Jacobs was short, and on 3rd and short and then 4th and 2, they take the ball out of the hands of Eli Manning, try and run to pick up the 1st down. And they don't get it. Back-to-back series, the Philadelphia Eagles defense wins the battle with this Giants offensive line, and they take over up by 9. Under 6.5 to play.
The relationship you have with your car isn't so different from your other relationships. Some burn hot and fast, but don't last very long. Some burn for a while, but don't throw much heat. And some smolder beautifully for a long, long time.
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
We just got 3 sandwiches for 99 cents each.
And you just passed Threeconomics 101.
Aw, snap.
Wendy's Threeconomics, featuring the double stack. One of 3 way better sandwiches for 99 cents each.
It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's.
Almost every guy who plays football uses a cup. Then again, some guys drink straight from the bottle. Here's to a great game. Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling.
On January 19th, there's a new reason you'll love to hate Mondays when House moves to a new night.
Can't cure him, so we're going to torture him? Torture is the cure.
House moves to Mondays at 8, 7 Central, January 19th on Fox.
Certainly a lot of head shaking and a lot to talk about over on that bench for the Giants offensive line, which has been highly celebrated all year. They've been overpowered by the Philadelphia defensive front as Buckhalter loses 1.5 yards. Michael Johnson, the first guy there. And we go back to the last series and first look at the 4th down play.
Yeah, here's the 4th down, and watch the job that Bunkley does there in holding up Sean O'Hara. But look at this lane right back here on the backside that Brandon Jacobs just never sees. If he sees it, he probably picks up the 1st down. Now here's 3rd down. Dominic Hickson is being asked to block Jaquay Parker, and he's not going to do that. And so Jaquay Parker then is able to make the tackle and keep them from picking up that 1st down on 3rd down.
Donovan McNabb down the sideline for Jackson. What a pass and catch. Deshaun Jackson, the rookie. No signal yet is going to be called out of bounds. Right now they have him at the 7. Working on Corey Webster. Beautiful throw. And now the officials are going to again get together and figure out what they just watched.
I'll tell you what, I think Corey Webster has had himself a good ball game, and you get in this situation and you're playing tight because of the situation. You can't play soft, you got to play physical. Deshaun Jackson with great speed goes by him, and a well-thrown ball.
And you can see that Jackson keeps his feet in bounds, and they have just placed the ball at the 1. 1st and goal, and this could be a knockout blow. A 48-yard completion to Deshaun Jackson. Westbrook gets it and cannot get in. Tripped up and brought down at the 1. 2nd and goal. Yesterday, the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Tennessee Titans, went down. Last night, the number 2 seed in the NFC, the Carolina Panthers, fell to the Arizona Cardinals, who, if the Eagles win this game, will host the NFC Championship game next Sunday out in Glendale, Arizona, where this Giants team won Super Bowl 42 a year ago. 2nd and goal. Here's Westbrook. Cannot get anything. In fact, lost a yard. And this is a big opportunity for this Giants defense to keep it to within reason. It's a 9-point game. If the Giants defense can force the field goal, it becomes a 12-point game, and you're still within 2 touchdowns of winning.
With 1 timeout and the clock continuing to tick.
It's 3rd and goal. McNabb rolls right, throws it right into the turf, incomplete for Basket. So after having 1st and goal from the 1, that drive actually went backward a yard, and it will be a 20-yard try roughly by David Akers to make it a 12-point game.
Well, a lot of time coming off the clock. I mean, them being able to hit the big one down the field to Deshaun Jackson that set up this field goal here. You'd almost expect the Eagles to come away with a field goal considering the field position they were given. But as I said, they're getting the 3 points with a lot less time. The Giants will next time they get it.
Field goal is good. Akers has hit 18 straight in the postseason. And it's a 12-point game. The catch by Deshaun Jackson. Set it up at the 1. Philly leading by 12.
Start the year right. Eat smart with the delicious low-fat Subway Club on new, freshly baked 9-grain wheat bread. Subway. Eat fresh.
I am so sorry. Don't worry, it happens. What do you got there? Heated steering wheel? No. Yeah. Is that a manicure?
Would you rather have a Dodge Ram with a heated steering wheel or a Silverado with an EPA estimated 21 highway? Unbeatable fuel economy, unbeatable value. Chevy Silverado, America's best truck.
When it's prostate cancer, how do you decide on a treatment? Fox Chase Cancer Center has all the options, all in one place. Our expert doctors guide you in choosing the treatment that's best for you. State-of-the-art surgery, including Da Vinci robotic surgery for faster recovery. The largest, most experienced IMRT program, or brachytherapy. For the best options in prostate cancer treatment and prevention, choose Fox Chase. Call 1-888-FOX-CHASE.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevy, an American Revolution.
David Akers kicks it away. Ahmad Bradshaw waiting deep. From inside the end zone, Bradshaw gets to the 27, and we go down to Pam Oliver.
Oh, well, Joe, the Giants are starting to get that look about them. It is not a desperate look altogether, just one of concern as they keep waiting for something good to happen. OCU Manura's down here trying to keep the defense pumped up and into this game. They keep trying to stay up. You can tell the Giants are, but the clock is ticking, and they hear it, and a whole lot of faces, a whole lot of people just shaking their heads.
All right, Pam, well, OCU Manura was lost in August, put on IR, their big difference maker on defense. And one of the difference makers on offense and one of the most dynamic players, Plaxico Burress, took himself out of the lineup with his behavior for the Giants as Hickson, his replacement, makes the catch and is good out to the 30 for 3 yards. That accidental shooting on November 29th. Burress, who played in 10 games this year, he is gone. He's been gone down the stretch, and the Giants are in danger of losing their 4th game in the last 5 tries without.
Keeping you safe in the storm. John Bolaris, part of the next generation of news. Fox 29 News.
My man. Hey, what's new?
Even knew that the ball had been thrown right there. He starts to go take Steve Smith, thinking that's where the ball was going to be, but the ball had already been thrown by Eli Manning right in behind him to Toomer.
So first down at midfield, and Jim Johnson not shy or bashful at all to talk about the absence of Plaxico Burress and how they can now load up to stop the run. That's exactly what they've done all day. What they've had to do on the last 2 drives that have ended with the Giants turning it over on downs, and now Eli Manning turns it over with his arm. 2nd interception, this one by Quentin Michael.
Yeah, they were loading up throughout this game to stop the run, but on this possession they were playing coverage all the way, knowing that the only chance the Giants have to get back in this game is to make some big plays throwing the football. And Quentin Michael, you're going to see he's sitting back here in a cover 2 defense, and Eli thought that Steve Smith was going to get to the middle, but even with that, that's a ball that got away from Eli. It's a high throw, no chance of completing it, and an easy interception for the Eagles.
And on the back end of it, at the end of a rotten day, Eli Manning gets a shot from this Eagles defense. And that look says it all by Manning, who didn't play like this at all during the playoffs last year or into the Super Bowl for Tom Coughlin.
Yeah, or even really this season, because he has done a good job all year of not throwing the interceptions. And the first one that he had today, really changed the tone of this game right from the beginning.
Timeout is taken by the Giants. They are finished in that category. Final timeout. And so Eli Manning, who through the end of the calendar year 2007 had played in 59 games, had suffered through 81 giveaways and had a record of 30-27. Once last January rolled around and the playoffs started, he'd gone 20 games and given it away a total of 13 times, was 16-4, but in this game 2 interceptions, a completion percentage for Eli Manning that is well below 50%. And a quarterback rating of 33.8.
Well, it had been discussed all week long about where are these Giants, having lost 3 of 4. Where are they coming into the playoffs? And, as you would expect, the players said, hey, we're fine. We're not worried about it. We rested players the last week of the season against Minnesota. We played when we had to against Carolina. But they were sleepwalking a little bit there the last month, and they've not played well in this game.
Donovan McNabb gets away from Tuck. Picks up about 9 before he's forced out by Chase Blackburn. The Arizona Cardinals await the winner of this game. In this postseason, Kurt Warner with a 93.9 quarterback rating. Larry Fitzgerald was so good last night and has been through the postseason, as has Edgerrin James. 9 takeaways and a touchdown for Clancy Pendergast's defense. And Anquan Bolden injured in the wild card game, bad hamstring. And his status for next Sunday is unknown. It was an unsportsmanlike call against Donovan McNabb for what he did over on the bench, which marches the ball back inside the 30 to the 26. And what drew the flag? Donovan McNabb picking up the phone on the Giants bench.
You know, sometimes I don't know what runs through that guy's head.
I mean, that's silly and unnecessary, and drew the flag. And you know, I know there's been a lot of frustration on the part of Donovan McNabb getting benched in that November 23rd game against Baltimore. He's played very well since, and he's got his team steered toward the NFC Championship game. It'll be his 5th, but that was over the top.
You know, you think back to the last time the Eagles played Arizona, and that was right after Thanksgiving, or it was Thanksgiving, and how well Philadelphia played. That's the game that got them going. That's the game that ignited them, and it was a pretty good whipping they put on the Arizona Cardinals. Now, that was at Philadelphia. It'll be interesting to see how this championship game goes next week. But the Arizona Cardinals aren't the Eagles may not even be the same team they were at that time. We know the Cardinals aren't the same team that the Eagles faced then.
Here's the punt by Rocca, with Hickson having to backpedal inside the 15. And Dominic crosses the 20. Kyle Eckel on the stop after a return of 8 yards, 57-yard punt. I mean, let's be honest. So you and I, and take away the phone thing on the sideline here a second ago, you and I were going into that last game of the regular season. You know what happened on the final day. Everything had to break right for the Eagles just to get into the playoffs, and it had to end with them taking apart the Dallas Cowboys, which it did. Donovan McNabb, you know, so much was written this could be the last game for McNabb. Not just McNabb, but Andy Reid with the Eagles, which for some would be hard to believe, but it was at least in the conversation. And now, considering the run that they've been on, here's Andy Reid, who's about to head to his 5th NFC Championship game in 10 years with Philadelphia.
But yet I think once the Eagles got into the playoffs, I don't think this comes as a real big surprise.
Coming up on a 2-minute warning, Manning almost threw another in and out of the hands of Chris Clemens. Trying to get it to Sonoris Moss. This has been a rough day for Eli Manning, and a lot of celebrating by the Eagles. 1:58 left.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Oh, how much are these?
No, those aren't for sale.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mom's a little crazy about her antiques.
Antiques, they're rollover minutes.
Yeah, from like 6 months ago.
But they're still good. You know, saving minutes saves money, and these days we can't afford to be wasteful. Not everyone gets to keep their unused minutes.
Oh, cool.
Beat it, kid.
Only AT&T's Family Talk with Rollover saves your family's unused minutes. And saving minutes saves money. Now add a line for just $9.99. Now get 50% off all LG phones.
What was it like to kill a man?
You don't want to know. Critics are praising Gran Torino as prime vintage Eastwood. Get off my lawn. And the National Board of Review has honored Clint Eastwood as the best actor of the year. Gran Torino, rated R, now playing everywhere.
It's an all-out flavor blitz with KFC Honey Barbecue Wings. We take our famous sauceless hot wings that are marinated in peppers and coated in seasoning, then glaze them in honey barbecue for 3 layers of flavor. Get 7 for $3.99 or grab a bucket of 20. Add a 32-ounce drink for a chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 44.
All right, you're shipping. All right, you're shipping. What are you doing here? Well, I'm proving a point, which is, well, some package delivery companies have you duplicate everything to fit their networks. Right, but when you ship packages with UPS, there's just one bill, one network, and one driver. And that really simplifies the process. Exactly. It's not just your shipping, it's more efficient shipping with UPS. Hey, you wanna grab some lunch? No, I got a split.
Cadillac presents MVP Moments.
After years in the shadow of a legend, Steve Young became a legend in his own right in Super Bowl 29, throwing a record 6 touchdown passes, including 3 to Jerry Rice, and earning MVP honors.
It's the greatest feeling in the world, and no one can ever take it away from us, ever!
Help choose the next MVP presented by the 2009 Cadillac CTS. For more, go to superbowl.com/MVP.
Winding down here at Giant Stadium, 1:58 left. 2nd down and 10 for New York. Manning trying to find someone, has to come underneath to Derek Ward, who is held inbounds and stopped after a gain of 7. Ed Svita, Philadelphia's own statistician, tells me this is the first time ever that the top 3 seeds won't make the NFC Championship game. And that is the case. And how about this? An NFL fact. No game has ended with a final score of 23-11 as Derek Ward picks up a 1st down for the Giants but stays in bounds. Philadelphia offensively will do all this with virtually no input from Westbrook outside of the attention he gets. 18 carries, 36 yards. That's 2 carries per rush, or 2 yards per rush, and 2 catches for 10 yards as the ball pops out to Steve Smith. The Eagles take over, another turnover, and this one is over. So Troy, 20 touches for Westbrook, 46 total yards. But it's this defense that is celebrating again for Philadelphia.
Yeah, the defense stepped up and they made the plays, right from the beginning on through right now. And coming into the game, they talked about, the Giants that is, talked about, hey, we've got to be able to control Westbrook, and they did that. But even having done that, you can't have the mistakes, and you can't not capitalize on the opportunities that you have. I mean, think back to that first half even. All the chances that the Giants had with good field position and some penalties that knocked them maybe out of good field position, but not capitalizing, not finishing drives, not converting 3rd downs. And that's the essence of football. And they didn't get those things done.
Last year, the Giants went to and won the Super Bowl as a number 5 seed. They had to go through that gauntlet on the road, and now Andy Reid has a number 6 seed headed to the NFC Championship game in Arizona.
I would have to imagine that Andy Reid is extremely proud, maybe more proud right now than he has been at any other time during his 10 years with this organization, for them to overcome what they've overcome and be where they're at now, going back to yet another NFC Championship game. Job well done.
And so the number 1 seed has fallen in the NFC. Last year it was the Giants knocking out the number 1 seeded Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. This year it's Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagles doing it to the Giants here in the Meadowlands. And the Philadelphia Eagles now in the NFC Championship game, 5th time last 8 years. Donovan's been there throughout. Here's Chris Myers.
All right, Joe Crowder, congratulations. First of all, what was the difference in this game?
First of all, God is good, man. This has been an exciting time for us, and you know what? Things just started to click later in the first half, and then the second half, despite the tipped interception, I think offensively we got in our rhythm, and we just continue to roll and put ourselves in position to score. I think our defense really played well today, and Jim Johnson came up with some great schemes, and the players just made plays, and our team's just really been rallying behind each other, and getting that locker room. I mean, it was so much energy in there that we were ready to play early in the week, and I think we won this game today with the great week of practice that we had.
Great defensive stops. What were you thinking? America saw you grab the phone on the Giant bench. Rollover minutes, or what was that all about?
You know what?
Excitement?
As a veteran in this league, I was having fun, but that's just something you don't want to do. And you know what? And, I mean, despite that part of it, you know what? This is beautiful. The city of Philadelphia now is buzzing. this team is buzzing. We're looking forward to going back to obviously my part of town now, Arizona, and it's a little warmer than it is here.
Yeah, and Arizona, it's where the streak began, right? I mean, after the benching, now you face the Cardinals with a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, you know what? I don't even go back that far because it feels like it was years ago, and you know, we're playing a team that's obviously playing well at this particular point, but we are too. So it's going to be a grind, and you got two teams putting everything on the line, obviously, to take that extra step.
I will see you in Phoenix.
Thank you.
All right, Donovan McNabb, a touchdown through the air and on the ground, Joe.
All right, thank you, Chris. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. There's Big John Runyon. He'll get a chance to relax. The Eagles are now into the NFC Championship game next Sunday in Arizona. What a run they are on. What a run for Andy Reid. Back to wrap up after this.